Hey, John here. So in this video I'm going to cover the Liquios herd, and it's basically going to be the middle of the Liquios herd because I improvised into it and improvised out of it. But fortunately the middle part is the best, and that's the part that I came up with before everything else. So this is quite Paul Gilbert inspired when he goes into that blues mode. And the scale we're using here is a mix between the A blues scale and the A Dorian scale. What this gives us is a very handy shape here on the guitar in this position. So we have same fingering on all three top strings, and also it's connected to that shape that you already know, hopefully. So the day one pentatonic shape. This is basically divided into these two 6-note shapes. So we have this one. So we got 5, 7, 8 back, and then we hit the flat 5 here, and then the next one is the reverse Paul Gilbert, or the same thing that Dimebag played in the Cowboys from Hell solo. But now you want to work on going between them, right? So you go now, like I said, I added that scale flourish at the end, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But if you look at my right hand here, I'm not doing this. Which you can do if you want, but I use hybrid picking instead. It just feels more natural. And of course, if you haven't done hybrid picking before, it won't feel natural. But I think it's an easier way to control your dynamics, because when you pick this, you tend to dig in a bit more when you do that, which is fine. That's also a sound, but you can also do that with the hybrid picking. So I can go from a very light string change and add more dynamics. So it's a very helpful technique actually to play a lot of these legato phrases. Legato is fine when you have a lot of notes on one string, but whenever you get into these kind of shifting quickly within a legato line, it becomes quite cumbersome to do that with the pick. It can almost feel like doing it with a pick when you have done a lot of legato before. Let's say you do this, and they have to, really get in there at speed. Kind of feels like if your not so friendly friend would put on a treadmill on full blast and then have you hop on it. It's kind of like you have to get on at full speed. So using the hybrid picking makes this way easier to manage, I've found. So it's kind of an illusion here. When I do all this stuff, I'm not really moving that quickly. Because yes, I do. It looks like I'm moving quickly, but it's only one finger here. So it's all about the timing between the pick and the finger. So even if I double up on this, it's still not a lot of motion here, right? So it's kind of an illusion here. So it's more about the timing between the legato and then when you add the pick and the fingers. So if you want to get into this hybrid picking stuff, which I highly recommend anyone to do because it's so helpful in so many situations, and it's not that scary once you've done it for a while. And I have a whole playlist here about hybrid picking, and I'm pretty sure I have a hybrid picking basics in there somewhere. So I'm going to link that at the end of this video so you can check that out if you're interested. But basically, 90% of all hybrid pick stuff that you see people do is going to be with this finger only. And then you can add stuff like that later if you want, but it's really not needed. If I had to choose, if I could do that, what I just did, or if I could only use the M finger, but I could use that, anywhere I wanted to, then I would definitely stick with the M finger, because it's such a useful finger to use when it comes to the hybrid picking. And like I said, it's mostly an illusion when you see people play really fast stuff. Of course, you need to practice it to get the timing down, and also make sure that you don't dig in too much, because that's one of the big things that can happen when you start doing this. But once you get over those tiny hurdles and just practice your normal legato stuff, like this lick for example, you will find that it's not that difficult to get it going at quite a decent clip. So I highly suggest that you check that out. But back to this one then. A good exercise would be to take this and just move it up and down the fretboard, as I've explained in numerous videos before. So just go through it like this. So I'm going to start down here. And initially I would try to keep the dynamics very even, and then when you want, you can dig in more. But the way that I use this mostly is just to get a more legato feel without using the pick instead and having to dig in a lot. So do that. Up and down the fretboard is a really good exercise for your 1, 3, and 4 combinations as well. And for the last bit here, I'm just doing the full shape. I don't even remember, I might even use hammer-ons from nowhere on the way back here, but it's basically just going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then I do that. But I'm just basically going up the shape like this. And you have so many notes per string here, so you can actually get away with pretty much any picking you like. I tend to do even more hybrid picking here, but it's totally unnecessary really. So you could just go. So don't let that stop you. It's just what comes naturally for me, because I've done a lot of hybrid picking before. But I should also tell you that this will come naturally for you as well once you've done enough reps, and then you will just do it without thinking about it. And that's really where the biggest sort of benefit of this type of technique comes into play, because then you can improvise stuff and you don't have to sit there with a lot of licks planned out, like, oh, here's fusion lick 32B. That's not any way to go about it. Instead, you want to find phrases that you like and that you can put together in different ways, depending on the context. Just work on it technically first, and then just sit there and basically get used to going between these two. So as you can see, you can also loop the whole thing. So just play around with this stuff for a bit and let me know in the comments how it went. And also, if you want the tabs for this one, I have that available on my Patreon as usual. So good luck with this one, and see you in the next one. Back in the day, I used to have real issues with fast alternate picking when it came to 2 notes per string. I was fine with 3 notes per string, but the 2 notes per string thing was a bit harder to crack. So if you struggle with fast alternate picking as well, and you don't know what to practice or for how long, I've created the perfect solution for you in the form of the Pentatonic Picking Power Book. So in this book, you'll find a daily workout that will not only help your pentatonic picking, but will also upgrade your overall alternate picking technique. So it contains basically the same exercises I used myself to develop my picking abilities, as well as numerous students over the years that I've given the same exercise to with great results. So I know these exercises work as long as you put in the work. So it's not a quick solution or quick fix. It will still take a lot of work, but at least you have a very easy to follow routine. So if you're up for a big alternate picking upgrade in 2024, I cannot think of a better start. It's $9 and I think it's very underpriced, but I did it that way just so as many people as possible could be helped by this. So check that out.